I just got up to take a video in the bathroom, and even though I was sitting on a stoop and I used my cane to get out and in, I apparently made my kidneys and my nervous system a little worse. Just as a note for the doctor, it is 7:05. All I did was stop laying flat on my kidneys. I stood up, brought the phone to the bathroom, just took a light video, and I'm sitting back down, and oh boy, I think I made my kidneys worse just by standing up. So they are throbbing a little bit. My GI doesn't feel too bad, but I feel a little bit there. But that sounds, I can stand that right now. But the last time the GI got little pain like this, just a pressure, I went back to work and I ended up doing something to it. So we got to figure out what's going on there. It could be something from the Renadine. It could be something from all the drugs my mother gave me. Could have been from the Thorazine, Seroquel, who knows. I know that maybe the fact that my legs don't work proper could be from the Thorazine that my mother gave me through childhood and told me that I needed. Could be from the Seroquel from age 14 on. It's probably not. That probably has to do more with my neurological disorder getting worse over time. Started with an overdose, and then my mother was just drugging the shit out of me with pills. Everything from lithium to Seroquel, Thorazine, Xanax, Zyprexa, Ritalin, Wellbutrin, Risperidone, Lamictal. My nipples were leaking liquid, milk, and just all different types of stuff. So it could be from that. I have letters saying from one of the other pharmaceutical companies that they might have accidentally put steel shards in my pill that could cause GI pain. Renadine could cause GI cancer. There's just so many problems, but I think the kidneys are something to do with my job. I was trying to work even though I was getting injured, having seizures, falling down in front of customers here and there, but my willpower is 110. I mean, you can beat me with a baseball bat, burn me, I could have a seizure and the doctors malpractice me, and I'll literally be trying this. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Have a seizure, bash my head open, keep going. Somebody robs me, keep going. My father uses me, keep going. Some black guy chokes me, keep going. Oh, I'm on drugs drooling in the morning, fight it, keep going. My mother wants to drug me even more, now I'm a drooling mess all over the place. Come on, fight it, keep going. Well, I want to drive, but I don't know what's going on with my body, but I want to drive. So I'm going to study for my learner's permit. I passed my learner's permit, but now I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to decide to try to handle this before I drive. That's the right thing to do. If I can't control my hand and leg movements and I'm spasming and my leg is bouncing out of control and my neck is twitching automatically, I'm having muscle spasm, probably not a good time to drive. So when my learner's permit expired at 18, I was questioning my ability or questioning if it's right for me to drive. What made it even harder, because I knew what I was doing was wrong. If you know what you're doing is wrong, it just isn't going to happen. So, yep, the problem is my father still thinks that poisoning an orphan, giving him extra medications. Meanwhile, on the news, they're saying people who are overprescribed Seroquel and have had seizures or any type of illnesses, please contact this number. Well, that's me. At the age of 14, I've been having seizures for my whole life. I've been having shakes, falls. I've been bumping in the furniture. Okay. Thorazine on the TV says, if you have taken Thorazine and your legs don't seem to move properly, please contact this number. Wow, just my legs don't seem to move properly. Maybe I should do this. But I can't do anything. Meanwhile, my father is lying to doctors and manipulating doctors to hide what his wife did. As long as my father's trying to hide his dirty little secret, I cannot get what's mine. I cannot get epilepsy medication. I cannot get any help. I cannot go to work without getting injured. I cannot collect Social Security. I cannot use a shelter. I cannot drive a car. I cannot walk down the street 9 months a year without falling and having seizures. I cannot do a normal walk on the bus without people kind of giving me stares when it's cold out. I cannot stand at the bus stop without falling to the ground, breaking out in tears as I get tased through the back. All this has to continue and continue with no help whatsoever as long as my father continues to say, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, I'm bleeding on the side of the road, and 100 people go, Zach, something's wrong, go to the doctor. Zach, something's really wrong, go to the doctor. Zach, something's really wrong, go to the doctor. I'm hearing hundreds of people around me, all the way back to Lowell, telling me this stuff. Meanwhile, my father tells my doctor, nothing's wrong, let him die. Nothing's wrong, let him die. Then the doctor releases me. I have another seizure. The people around me go, oh my God, Zach, you need a doctor right away. So I go to the emergency room, I go to the doctors. My father, once again, has lied to the doctors. They call my emergency contacts. They look through my records. They say, we don't know what to do with this. They release me. I get hurt again. Everybody around me goes, oh my God, Zach, you need a doctor. So I go to the doctors, and the doctor is very concerned, but then he types in my name. He calls my father gives him a spiel. My doctor doesn't know heads from tails, so then he releases me, and once again I get another injury, and the people around me go, oh my God, what is wrong? Every day of my life I'm twitching, seizing. They go, Zach, there seems to be spasms in your muscles. Are you close to a seizure or something? No, this happens all the time. This is my daily twitching and my spasms. Oh, that sucks. You should go see a doctor. I have. They won't even look at me until my father stops lying and manipulating and hiding what his wife did. It's really, really terrible to have a seizure, wake up on the side of the road, and know the only reason why you're on the side of the road bleeding is because your father wants it that way. If he just walked you into the hospital, said, okay, yeah, maybe my wife overprescribed. Maybe he did have an overdose at age 7. I don't know. My wife lied to me so much. According to my son, during the overdose, I was told that the people on the phone don't know anything. And yeah, he did have some type of reaction on a pile of newspapers, but I didn't know what it meant. And yeah, teachers did put him in physical therapy, and doctors did tell us something was wrong with his movements of his body. But we put him in ballet, and my wife told me the ballet cured him. And my wife told me we were good to move to Texas, and she wanted to move to Texas, so we did. If my father told them everything, or let me tell them everything, and then just signed off that it is absolutely true, then I could get the help I need. But my father would rather back up some fantasies, have me live in a fantasy land, than ever come to terms with what happened right in front of him. I mean, for goodness sake, my mother, in front of my father, my sister's husband, and me, said that she thought it was okay to give extra medications to a child that he wasn't even prescribed. My mother clearly said that she thought it was okay to poison me over and over. My mother also very clearly was making statements like one time I jumped into a pool and caught the back of my foot on a fence. And my mother, when she saw this, said, it's self-harming, it's self-harming. And all the witnesses told my mother, hey, you're acting crazy, it's not self-harming. And then as soon as they walked away, my mother got in my face and said, I don't care what they say. I'm telling your doctor that it's self-harming. I don't care what you say. I still think that that's self-harming. Then when I'm bumping in the furniture and my legs are all cut up and my wrists keep on bumping into doorknobs, once again, my mother goes, it's self-harming, it's self-harming, it's self-harming. Meanwhile, at the age of 7, when I try to show my mother a swimming medal that I won in my orphanage, what does my mother do? It's attachment disorder. He's a liar. He's a thief. Not only that, she brings me to the doctor, and when I cry and say, I want my medal back, please give me my swimming medal back, please. I earned that in the orphanage, please give me my swimming medal back. Then my mother tells the doctor, it's a fantasy. See, my son is making up fantasies. I know he wrote this on there just to get me back. Yeah, my son is out to get me. So, yeah, I see this ZG. I know he wrote that on there. Yeah, I know he did. So he has attachment disorder. We need lots of medications. We need lots of pills. So, of course, the doctor smiled and gave my mother plenty of pills to mess around with my health. So that way my mother could play doctor based upon fantasies that my mother made up. Yes, my mother snatched an orphan's swimming medal, took his accomplishments away, and then on top of this, got him all drugged up on pills by making up fantasies about that swimming medal to doctors. And she continued this behavior year after year after year after year. And whenever a doctor was just about to figure out something was wrong with my physical health, my mother would jump in there and go, no, 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 we need to put him in, we need to take him out of school. We need to take him out of those doctors, and we need to put him in Texas. We need to take him out of the Texas doctors, and we need to take him out of the Texas schools, and we need to put him in New Mexico. Then we got to take him out of New Mexico, and we got to put him in Maine. Then we got to take him out of Maine, and we got to put him in Chelmsford. Then we got to take him out of Chelmsford, and we got to put him in Haverhill. And now I don't give a fuck what happens, because now I got all the doctors fooled, and they're drugging the shit out of my child. He's all confused, up and down, side to side. There's a party in my son's head, and nobody else is invited because I'm giving him Seroquel, Thorazine, Trazodone, Xanax, Ritalin, Lamictal, Risperidone, just the whole works. Why? Because I keep on spilling fantasies to his doctors, yes. I mean, my mother loved making up stories about me. That was her pastime. My mother, just complete nonsense. Like one time, I asked my mother if I could go to a friend's house that was in my driveway. I asked for permission, went, talked to my mother, asked her if I could go to his friend's house. My mother gave me permission to go to his friend's house. And you know what my mother did? She made up stories. He ran away, he ran away, he ran away. Yeah, I'm punishing you, I'm smacking you around. You ran away. She was so scary and so crazy that literally the other mother didn't want to deal with my mother. Every friend I ever got was scared shitless of my mother. Her own grandson was scared of her at times. I'm not even kidding. As he got older, he got a little more used to it and realized the abuse that came to me wasn't going to go to him. He just had to watch it, that's all. He just had to watch me get whacked with a ruler. He just had to watch me take a bunch of pills and start acting wacky. He just had to watch my mother make up stories about me. But yeah, he was scared of my mother and his grandmother, absolutely. So yeah, this is obvious. I mean, my sister heard my mother saying crazy things. My brother heard my mother saying crazy things. My nephew, her grandson, heard her saying crazy things. We have med lists that clearly show what meds my mother had me on. We know exactly the stories that my mother was making up and the fantasies she was spreading. And now that I can get the help I need, now that people know that Seroquel was overprescribed, now that people know that people like my mother exist out there, now that they know that doctors were literally giving these people lots of prescriptions, now that they know I was moved around my whole life all over the country, now that they know all these things, and I'm sober, and there's no reason for me to go back to treating myself. I'd rather die at this point. Plus, if I do start treating myself with Ativan, Triliptal, and CBDV or something like that, I'm not going to be around for much longer. No way. Because if I'm doing it on my own and I have no income, eventually the treatment is going to be abruptly stopped, which means my seizures and my movements will get 10 times worse than if I wasn't taking medicine. So if I am going to treat myself, it's only so I can put an end to this for good. Whoever's responsible, teach those motherfuckers a lesson, and then make sure my pain stops instantly.